Hey there, I'm James, and the coffee educator here at Driftaway, and welcome to Coffee Stories for December 2021. For this month, you can start ordering coffees on December 2nd, and the last day to order is going to be December 29th. So I'm in the middle of brewing up the Fruity Profile, which is an Ethiopian coffee from the Sidama region. It's kind of like south central Ethiopia, and it's was produced at the Hamasho washing station. And if you are wondering what a washing station is, that's where they separate the fruit from the coffee seed and they wash it. It's a stone fruit, gets kind of sticky, you gotta wash it off, and then they dry it. So that's kind of all the work that this washing station does. And we purchased this coffee through our importing partner, Coffee Quest. And they found out about the coffee from their exporting partner, which is an Ethiopian coffee exporter named Dayebensa. And so Dayebensa didn't only export this coffee, but they also run the Hamasho washing station where this coffee is processed. About 1,500 producers contribute to coffee at the Hamasho washing station, and they all live high up in the Bombay mountain range, right in that area of Sidama. And so after they harvest the coffee, they bring it to Hamasho, to the washing station, to be processed. And the coffee in the Bombay Mountains is grown at a super, super high elevation, like some of the highest I've ever seen. It is over 2,300. It can get up to over 2,300 meters above sea level, which is about 7,500 feet. So really, really high up. And when coffee is grown that high, it becomes really dense. So these beans are super dense, and they're also really small. And that is aside and aside from the elevation, they just happen to be small. And I wanted to talk a little bit about some really coffee geek stuff for a second, because these coffee beans are so small that they're way smaller than coffee beans are usually. So the way that a coffee processor like Hamasho will figure out, kind of have a more objective way of figuring out the size of a coffee bean, is they kind of put them through a series of screens that have different size holes. So, you know, the last screen that it goes through before it can't go through anymore, smaller screens, that becomes its screen size. And the screen sizes are differentiated by like 1/64 of an inch. So like very small, gradual kind of size change. And these, so normally coffee beans are between 15 to 18 screen size. And these beans are between 13 to 14. So if you happen to get these beans as whole bean, if you get the Fruity Profile and you see it, you might notice that they're much smaller than you're used to. Pretty dorky stuff to be talking about. But there is a reason. There is a reason why I wanted to chat about it. Is because it's directly related to coffee roasting. Knowing the size, not just knowing the size of the coffee, but just, you know, having it be a more uniform size is helpful. Because think about, you know, roasting potatoes in the oven, you chop them up to be roasted at a certain temperature and a certain time. If you have the potatoes cut up all different sizes, the bigger sizes are gonna not cook all the way through, the smaller sizes are gonna overcook. And you can kind of use that metaphor to think about, you know, if there are coffee beans that are all a similar size, they're gonna roast a lot more consistently and a lot more evenly. And of course, the metaphor doesn't go super far, because if you have different coffee bean sizes in a roaster, they are all gonna roast. But the idea being that the more similar in size really anything is when you cook it, the more kind of consistent and repeatable the end product can be. So yeah, going back to the exporter and that, you know, Dayebensa, who runs the washing station, they are part of the process, the wash process, that can really make or break a coffee. And they've actually won awards for their work. Just in 2021, this same coffee, but last year's harvest. And what am I trying to say? The competition, James, yes. The competition happened this year in 2021, and they were, grading last year's coffee. So it's the same coffee, but grown last year, won 8th place in this national competition called the Cup of Excellence. It's also an auction. So they know what they're doing. They produce really, really great coffee. They take it from the farmers who've already been doing really amazing things with quality and just continue it on. So we're super excited to have this coffee. I hope you get a chance to taste it. Since it's the fruity profile, it's our lightest roast. So we look for coffees that are fruit forward like this one is. We want a crisp, mouth-watering acidity. And for this coffee, we get jasmine in the fragrance, which is super cool. Fragrance being just the smell of the coffee grounds. And we also get some floral stuff going on in the aroma as well, which is the smell of the coffee when it's wet, or just smell of coffee. And we taste oranges and green grapes. So again, it's our lightest roast. We want to really preserve that juicy acidity. Yep, if you like fruity coffees, I think you're really gonna like this coffee. This has been the Ethiopia Hamasho, and it's actually Ethiopia Sidama Hamasho from the Sidama region. Yeah, you can start ordering this coffee on December 2nd. The last day to order is gonna be December 29th. If you want more information on this coffee, it has its own webpage on our site. It's driftaway.coffee/EGH. Cool. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next month.